Welcome back, everybody. And
Hi.
last time that we had played, you had been hanging out with the Griffin Witchers at Kaer Seren, getting to know them, and straight chilling with them. The leader of the Griffin Witchers had given some time to research the celestial event and the strange occurrences that had happened, and returned to explore some of the lore behind the prophecy of the Unbound, which he shared with you. And as we had ended last time, Kaspar had maybe not stormed out, but left in a bit of a hurry and had left you all to your thoughts. So we'll return to the fortress at Kaer Seren. What are you all doing?
I'm going to go see what Kaspar's up to.
I'm going to wander the halls unsupervised.
No, you will be shot.
No, they just said upper floor. I could do downstairs.
I think I'm just sitting, reading over the my transcription of the prophecy. Just thinking. Having a deep think.
Having a deep think.
As I want to do sometimes. Hey! Rude.
Yeah, Kaspar's just standing by the fire.
Wait.
It's warmer inside, you know.
Oh.
He just kind of continues staring into the fire.
I am being intentionally coy with that. Something's clearly on your mind. But you know, not to... Well, yes, actually. I am going to be a bit mean here. You were the one that proved that we're not bound by the prophecies. So you should be the least worried out of all of us.
That's not what I'm concerned about.
Well, I have to speculate since you won't tell me.
Don't believe you asked.
Right. What's on your mind, Kaspar?
If I'm being entirely honest, I am sick and tired of my life. My body and my soul being used for some greater plan, or for nothing at all. This is just one more thing that I have no control over, that now has control over me. It's like I've been sold again.
Like I said, you proved that we're not bound by these visions or prophecies. If you want to cave into it, like you've been sold to be devoured by that tattoo on your arm, then go ahead and believe it. but I was under the impression that we were going to try to prevent the catastrophe, unless you consider that just as bad as being sold like an animal. But
who's to say that us beating these things isn't a part of it?
do you prefer the alternative? Because you do have a choice. You can curl up in the snow and die if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it.
I've thought about it many times.
And here you are, in front of the fire. Because you hate the cold.
I overheard you asking why continue staying Witcher.
Well, I mean...
You don't know much about us, do you?
Some of these witches seem different, though. I haven't asked you that question because you... I don't know. It doesn't seem like you've ever contemplated a different kind of life. I don't think you can conceive of a different kind of life.
He looks at you for the first time since you came out. And he says, all I've ever done since the moment that I was made into this thing that I'm forced to puppet around, I've done nothing but think of an alternate life. You don't think I would give anything, that I would kill every person in this fucking compound to be a human again? Of course I've perceived of another life. Do you know what happens to Witchers who try to forge a better life? Who want to stop being Witchers? They're killed by their neighbors. They're forced to fight again. Stabbed in their sleep. Poked and prodded, picked up in fields by mages. Don't ever, even for a moment, think that I want this. I can't tell you of one Witcher who does. He looks back to the fire.
Whatever you say, Kaspar. Maybe you're the expert here. You know, this plane we're in didn't always have Witchers. Did have people, though. The Witchers were sort of created as a, I think, rather vulgar means as a replacement for coexistence with the monsters we have to share this plane with. But it didn't turn out the way I would have liked it to, but there are fewer monsters, and, well, maybe one day so we could just ignore them. And maybe one day there won't need to be Witchers. I don't know.
When that time comes, when that time comes, the last Witcher, will crawl into the snow and die. Because they will be the monsters.
Is that your plan?
No. It's what I know of humans. When they run out of monsters with tails and teeth and claws, they'll come for the witchers and the elves, the gnomes and dwarves. It's already started. There's less monsters now, and suddenly they need something to feel afraid of. Humans don't want to coexist, Opheia. They created witchers so that when we kill everything that goes bump in the night, we can be the thing that goes bump in the night.
You know, you're not the only one in an out-group, so to speak. That's what I call about it. It's always about excluding someone, and then when you run out of that people, you find someone else to exclude. I guess druids are treated a little bit better than witchers, but I'm still part of an out-group, and I don't even have a group most of the time. But it is something I chose because I guess at the end of the day, I'd rather be right and more isolated than wrong in the majority. But that's my own personal philosophy. It just seems so unlike you to want to just go out without anything, no fight. You don't even seem interested in your stake in all this. If you don't believe in being a witcher, then...
What? Die?
Not what I said.
Go into a hut somewhere deep in the woods where nobody will find me. Live out the rest of my life as a trapper, maybe.
Well, that's not a bad life. But you said that almost as if it was as bad as dying.
I wouldn't be human. I would never stop being a witcher. You could stop being a druid if you really wished to. I will never know what color my eyes were before this happened. I'll never see my face without the scars.
Vow of blindness. That was also me being coy. I'm not going to gouge your eyes out.
Follow me out.
Because this is foolish. It doesn't... I don't like to see you make a fool of yourself.
And why not? I thought you would get a specific kind of glee about it.
Oh, in... I forget which traveler referred to that as Schadenfreude. But no, I don't. I don't like what witchers stand for, but it doesn't do me any good to see you impose suffering on yourself like this. You are... Look, I really, truly despise what the witchers stand for, and to an extent you have my sympathy for what you were put through. I don't consider the trial of grasses particularly humane, but I have met the few members of this earth that are high society and royalty, and everybody else who got screwed over. And yet, The snow is not littered with the bodies of those who gave up. So, stop being foolish and come inside. I chose to be a druid because there is so much beauty on this continent. Even I haven't even left it, but I'm sure it's even more grand out there. Yeah. And yeah, every system of government I've run into seems to be trying to tear it apart, but I think it's worth protecting, at least in the way I can do it. I don't know if you have anything that you think is worth protecting out here, but maybe you'll find something. I recommend you find something. If you're going to brood, can you at least brood inside where it's warmer?
He kind of just turns and starts looking back without saying anything.
Back inside the main chamber, Kilton, Mareigh, Julian, and the others are also kind of ruminating on the information that they've learned. Lucian, maybe a little bit less so, kind of leaning back, still maybe working on his Gwent deck, slowly kind of flipping through his cards, picking out which ones he wants to use. Olgar is fully passed out and is asleep, and Julian is scribbling notes in his notebook, keeping track of what the
Two idiots shielded from the knowledge of Doomsday. 6 months. 6 months is not enough time. Not enough time at all.
Yeah. Hey, I'm on one of these cards. Take a look. Just point in the very back. Some poor fucking infantry.
I will not be able to achieve my goals and Kaspar's goals in 6 months because of fucking apocalypse. So, I guess we have to stop the apocalypse. Or whatever.
Well, nobody said you had to. People told me all my life. What?
I would like to solve the apocalypse. If I only have 6 months left, there are things on my calendar that are scheduled way past 6 months that I need to get to. Can't have the world ending get into the way of that.
I don't.
I guess. I mean, by all means.
It's on my list of obligations. Like I told Kaspar out there, it's my job to tend to this place, and I guess that includes not having everything go up in a ball of fire, or maybe ball of ice. I'm not sure.
This just sounds like some sort of death miasma sort of thing. Regardless, we are in it, and it can be defied. And even if our defiance of it plays into it some way, it's not for us to consider, I feel. I think we just need to keep moving forward. Should have paid more attention in fucking prophecy classes. Fucking prophecy. Was never one for future telling and soothsaying.
Yeah, in my years, the only thing I've ever found about prophecies is that they're just about as often as right as you would be if you just guessed about something, but I've been surprised before.
What's your take on it? As a scholarly griffin who's been around the block time or two.
That's not the first time I've encountered some big-time prophecy that people got all up in arms over because more of it seemed true than they were expecting it to be. But, I mean, these things rarely affect us out here this far. We're barely part of the world. We're on the edge. It seems as though you and supposedly a lot of other people are branded this arcane sigil type thing that you got going on. And it seems as though some of you have had lingering effects from this comet. Now, I don't doubt that all these things are, well, something to be concerned about, but I don't know that everything's quite as neat and tidy as Galar has made it out to be in his prophecy.
I'm probably not.
You're so open.
I have to wonder why only 2 of us were immediately affected by the comet outside of the markings. Hilton gained some illusion magic. Opheia gained a curse. Kaspar and I gained nothing.
Well,
so maybe some PTSD.
no, we all got a little better at magic.
Oh,
Right?
that's right. Yes.
Yes, you got better at magic, and I got better at magic. I just went up from nothing, so...
And everyone did have to do the same resist coercion check. Opheia was the only one that failed. So.
That's right. That's right. I remember now. It's all coming back to me. Kaspar and I are just
What did
better
we
at
say,
resisting
December?
magic.
And me. I didn't fucking get hurt.
Yeah. Some say luck. I say I was just having a swingy day.
Mine was luck.
Oh, swiggy.
I don't know. I've been thinking it over this evening, and, well, it seems like clearly this comet is from somewhere else. We all saw it just appear in the night sky. That's not how celestial things tend to work.
That's
So,
true.
Clearly,
Almost
there's
as it
something
came-
there.
Almost as it came through a portal.
And, well, it seems as though this arrival of this comet brought with it something else. And that seems to have affected certain people. People that supposedly might have some common link in their past. Now, I don't know how accurate Galaris's magic was, but it seems as though you were all marked by something.
We know that whatever effect the mark has, it exhibits a specific kind of derangement on monsters. We encountered a troll that had the same markings, and it was more feral than a troll usually is.
Didn't even go after candy.
Oh,
Why?
Mareigh, I guess we didn't talk about the troll, but I had a hypothesis.
What was your hypothesis?
I was just thinking if I had a little less willpower than that troll did, my particular hex would maybe make me go deranged too. I didn't want to say it out loud, actually, because there's enough tension already. But
I have to wonder what the effect would be on a creature that is naturally resistant to magic. Keep an eye out on our travels.
I don't suppose we're going to run into any
Usually.
dryads or anything.
It's surprising that you encountered a troll. You said it was a rock troll?
Yes.
Wow.
One that had a previously established disposition as being reasonable. It had agreements to act as a toll keeper for a settlement, and it was not lucid when it came across it.
Oh, yes, I think I've heard of that one. It's not too far from here. A couple days' travel, maybe, and that is unusual. I mean, my best understanding of trolls after years is likely its mind wasn't able to comprehend what had happened to it, and it might even happen to some of the weaker-minded humans or non-humans that you meet as well. Especially if this presence, Rurik looks specifically at Opheia, continues to grow. That could be troublesome.
You're the master alchemist here, correct?
Well, I don't know. I'd go so far as to say master, but I get around the shop a little bit.
We hypothesize that the effect on Opheia is the curse of the nighttime. We have everything else we need to break said curse, except for glowing ore, and we've not been able to source it. Would there be a stash here that maybe we might partake from?
Well,
for a
let
price?
me see. I don't use stuff like that too often, but let me see if I might have some upstairs. And you see Rurik goes across the room, and through this door you hear heavy footsteps on the stairs leading up, and you see that above you, probably at high ceiling, maybe 20 feet or so, there's a kind of cutout balcony area. You can see there's a second floor above you with some chandeliers, and you can see, stacks and bookcases and things like that. And you hear Rurik rummaging around through the materials that are stored up top in some sort of area above you. After a bit of time, he returns. You see he's got a handful of things and sits down again and says, yeah, it looks like we've got probably enough, depending on what it is you need and how much.
Just one small parcel of it. As much as you would use in one casting of Breaking the Nighttime Curse. 1 unit.
1 unit.
1 unit of possibly radioactive ore, please.
A crumb of magic.
A crumb of uranium, please.
Yeah, I do like the glowing ore. It's good for pocket warmers, in the winter. Just keep it in there with gloves. And
have you been noticed any change to the health of your teeth recently since you've been doing that?
That doesn't seem to affect me that much. I think it might be my Witcher's things, but we did have a few servants that got real sick.
Gonna get mutated?
That's right.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, he's kind of... Yeah, he's at that fucking finish line already.
Already got so much.
You can speed through every disease.
This is gonna be a problem.
This is Rurik Griffin Witcher, who has every disease and can't feel any of it. Let's hopefully we don't have to do this once, but I think we can attempt to break this curse on you tonight, so you can actually get a good night's sleep.
That would be.
I don't think I have the words to describe how grateful I would be for that. But yes, thank you.
Thank you,
And
Works.
you there, Hilton, right? Well, it
Yes.
doesn't seem as though you're caused by the same problems, haunted by this nightmare thing going on, right?
Not that I can think of. No.
You prone to bad dreams or dark thoughts?
Well, I had a dream where
Dark urges.
we were in a labyrinth in a tomb, and I got shot in the heart by an arrow, but none since then, as far as I know.
Oh. Well, it's interesting that, there's no discerning connection between you and the others. Everyone else here is some magical proficiency, but the fact that you now do as well, that's something I haven't seen very often.
Right?
Whatever force marked us as a significant purveyor of chaos or something of the like, being exposed to a sudden and effusive magical effect can often leave lingering gifts on people who have not had magic before. It's not common.
My hypothesis is actually the opposite, is that there's more order we're just not seeing. A logic to it. I think it would be foolish at this point to write it off as just, it likes chaos, so it makes no sense. Who knows? Maybe we're cousins.
chaos is magic. It's pure magic.
Oh, yeah, I knew that. Sorry, it's got a different word where I'm from.
Kilton.
What?
Were either of your parents mages?
Well, I mean, mother was an alchemist. I don't know if that counts. Granted, she was imprisoned from lawful magic, but I figured it was just alchemy. I mean, she was a sorceress, but not like Mareigh. More of a, like, in the city with the family kind of thing.
Doesn't matter much. As far as I know, the reason why oh my god, what is the magic school? What is the main magic school? The girl one. Aretusa. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot that.
The main one in the north. I forget the name of the one in the south.
The main reason why Aretusa will sterilize their students is because a belief that magic being passed down, weakening, and becoming less and less refined may be dangerous.
Not so much that it becomes less defined. It's more because the mages in power want to keep track of how magic flows through the kingdoms.
Regardless, it's if your mother was a magic user but never had any formal schooling and
she had formal schooling, yeah, just not at Aretusa.
I thought you were from the north.
More of a border country sort of an area. Lyria's not that far north.
I'm from Lyria and I went to Aretusa.
Well, that seems like a problem for you.
Everyone in the northern countries goes to Aretusa.
Or Banard.
I never went to Aretusa. Well, I've been to Banard once. My lawyer went to Banard.
If you're from the south, there's nothing to hide about that. It's a perfectly respectable magical school.
Well,
a little bit Spartan, a little bit sparse, but
they don't sterilize you. The Imperial Magic Academy, as I understand.
And Aretusa hasn't always sterilized its students. It's just Tisea who's on that, controlling the flow of chaos through further generations, wanting to avoid the creation of sources and potentially having small towns potentially nuke themselves, whatever that word means.
If she's older than my mother, I'm glad that
she's too old.
Wasn't an Aretusa student.
Too old-fashioned.
You might have residual magics from your mother, but you were never trained.
That's what I was thinking. Not just... Who knows?
Not just gift of the comet.
Yeah, well, maybe it is. Maybe everybody has a little
maybe the comet awakened it.
Maybe the comet awakened some magic in the troll and he just didn't know where to throw it.
Mages can't cast magic without a thing to focus on, right?
No, they can. It's just more taxing on the body and more prone to failure.
Well, this is taxing on my body, that's why I don't do it.
I suppose we're ignoring the troll in the room here, which is there are multiple ways to conjure magic as well. You won't find any priests going to Aretusa. I know they don't perform the same kind of magic, but well, neither do I.
Priest magic is weird. I've never understood it.
Priest and druid magic, from what I can tell, is not as hereditary as the form of chaos that proliferates through mages.
I'm simply saying that you can get really focused on somebody's lineage if you want to, but Magic doesn't always care about that.
No, there's no history of mages in my family. I was the first.
Somebody always has to be the first. Kilton might be the first.
I doubt I'm the first of anything.
We already know his mother was a mage, so at the very least, he's the second.
Well, first wizard.
In the family? Oh. No, as I understand it, the grandmother's a mage as well. Was a mage.
First wizard, then. I don't stand corrected. I stand uncorrected.
Oh, well, maybe.
I apparently could do magic when I was a child as well. No mages in my family, supposedly.
So what's our plan?
Wake up
We have
in
a
the
few
morning.
months. A few violent months, and then...
Say we still continue on our way to Toussaint. Whatever this is going to find us, or we will find it along our way. So why not just do what we were already doing?
Go to Toussaint.
Go to Toussaint, fulfill our if things happen along the way that change things, or we find more of our fates to defy. Travels along the way. We get to Toussaint, and if our breadth and depth of knowledge is deeper and more contextualized by then, there's powerful people in Toussaint that can aid us, or we can find more information.
If your plan is to continue on south, you might be able to skirt around Redania and the craziness there.
Yes.
Go a little bit further towards Cadwin and the area that way, where you might be able to not have to... No, that's... Well, let me check my notes from years past. I had a acquaintance who used to work with me on some of my more complicated projects, and they might be able to help you.
Did he say mages?
Somebody that used to help him didn't necessarily say mage. He just said somebody that used to help him with his projects. Yeah, they're located near the Alderwood. Sorry, not Elderwood. Oh, right.
Elderwood.
Elderwood.
Excuse you, my wood is very young.
Yeah. He was good. Yeah.
Not an elder at all.
He lives near the Alderwood, the other side of Redania. It's a small area, but if you're going a little bit further, it's along one of the main routes, so it wouldn't be out of your way, and they might be able to help. Although I need to do a little bit of research.
Where is Dolblathona again? So if we are going more east, I know it's more to the east. I'm just trying to remember the vector of it. Ratsburg, IP points. Good old towns of IP points. Here's something that Kaylin has never thought of. Do they sterilize the boy students at Banard?
Nope, they don't. It's said in the book they don't.
That's why we continue to have this fucking problem.
It's literally just Tisea.
It's literally just Tisea. Girl.
Yep.
Like, Mareigh doesn't care either way, but...
Backwards ass northern countries.
Yep.
Where the fuck is it in
So,
better?
Looking towards the map of where you're at, obviously far, far to the west, currently in Kovir and Povis, you're going to have to head east anyways to get across because of the blockades and everything. That's why you were traveling by road from Pelthen East. And traveling through Redania right now, is quite challenging. It's
stupid. We shouldn't do it. Let's go through Kedwin.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you take kind of the main routes through the Kestrel Mountains and then through Cadwin, there's a lot less conflict and a lot safer routes that way. And then you'd be able to kind of circumvent a lot of the war front heading down that direction.
If we go through Kedwin, we can stop in Dol Blathana in Edirn, because I have a contact there, and I would be curious to see how the elves are interpreting this comet, and if any of these marked servants, these marks of servitude. I'd be interested to see if their takes on it.
That'd be almost a straight east journey from here. It looks like it's north of Vangerberg.
Yep.
Which would be the biggest detour.
Vangerberg down through IP points.
We are looking at different maps then.
Yes, I'm looking at the old map because it's the only one that is further east.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, if you decide to go east and through Cadwin, you could. I mean, there's no shortage of different main routes, and they're all going to be roughly the same time time travel to go from point A to point B. So it's more of kind of where you might want to head. So yeah, looking at
the main war front is just in Redania and Temeria right now, right?
Generally, it's
Temeria.
Why are you laughing about Temeria?
Is that the one with the king that wants to fuck his sister?
Oh,
well,
Voltest?
he did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before he was murdered.
Karma was coming at him.
I don't say that in character. I'm
obviously not saying this in character.
We can't let people forget what a fucking nasty Voltest was.
We hate Voltest. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, get that straight, viewers. We hate Voltest.
He was so handsome.
Apologies for the Assassin of Kings spoilers, but I mean...
It's in the title.
Come on.
Which kings were getting assassinated?
Hella long ago.
All right, so yeah, you can go, any route that you want, but avoiding Redania would probably be it would make things easier for you. But
it would make things easier for us.
Mareigh, I need you to go ahead and give me a magical training check.
Okay. For why?
See what you get.
Well,
okay.
Because he asked.
That's fair.
GM rules.
I will also say that Kaspar can give me an awareness check. Ooh,
okay.
Nice. Dang, you got quite the bonus to that now.
Yeah.
I will add
+7
luck.
Well, I added 2 for the luck.
Okay, nice. A 24 and a 25. Kaspar, your medallion, which is kind of in a constant state of activation here, it vibrates in a different way, a way that is kind of catches you off guard a little bit. And
frequency.
It's enough to draw your attention to it in that something is different. Lucian's eyes perk up and notices this as well. Mareigh, you as a mage and with an exceptionally high magical training check, your senses, your hair kind of almost starts to get a little staticky. You get kind of the hair on your arm starts to stand up. You get goosebumps, and you feel this magical presence. And you look around the room trying to see what is this I'm feeling. And you your gaze casts across the room, falling first on Julian and then on Olgar.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Who is asleep. And then it casts onto the fire, and you see the unmistakable kind of flickering of the flames in a way that, when you add like those campfire chemicals to a campfire to kind of like, there's that very slight effect to the fire. And you know that this is a effect of pyromancy.
Oh, fuck.
Pyromancy. The spell pyromancy?
Yeah.
The spell pyromancy?
That's a pretty spell, right?
That's a biggie ouchie hurdy.
No, Mancy. No. Mancy would be seeing shit in fire.
Seeing shit.
Pyromancy.
I thought you said pyromancy. I thought
that pyromancy. Okay.
Yes. Pyromancy, you would know, is a spell that allows someone to stare into a burning fire and witness events that are currently happening. It's
spying.
Favorite type of magic.
Not generally necessarily a spell that is easy to cast or a ritual to cast, but it is able to be detected by a mage. It sets off your magical alarm bell in a way, and as you kind of gaze into the fire, the shimmering of the flames begins to fade.
I'll walk over to it. Whoever's spying on us, knock it off. Unless you have something to help us with in our predicament. Well, you know where to find us. But I don't take kindly to being spied on. And I'll watch it fizzle out. We're being spied on, or we're being spied on. Someone knows we're here. Probably someone from my neck of the woods.
We need to.
It's a very obscure divination spell.
We should leave as soon as possible, then.
No, I don't think that's necessary. It's not going to change. It's not going to change what we're doing. Is it? If someone knows where we are, what we know.
They already had to. I don't know how the spell works, but they already had to know where we were to begin with to.
Yes. So someone knows we're here. A mage knows we're here. And I don't know who, and that's what worries me. Though if it's divination spell, it might be a good thing. It might be Danila.
How could it ever be a good thing to have a mage spying on us?
Because my girlfriend's concerned about me and wants to check in on me? Maybe? I would like to think that.
She wouldn't find a way to contact you in any way.
I mean, she is half a continent away. And she is a skilled diviner.
Well, I don't want your girlfriend spying on us either. This is a witcher's stronghold. To have a sorcerer spying here is... It's a disgrace.
Yes, maybe the Griffins should look into some wards.
Honestly, that's my job, and I haven't done it in about 20 years because it just didn't
20 years? Necessary. Come on, man.
Well, I mean...
Those things need yearly attention.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. There's only 3 of us left.
You should value your home security a little more. Regardless, I think it is disconcerting to be have the eyes of another mage on us, but we have an opportunity here to learn and better ourselves before we continue headlong down this road of apocalyptic ruin. I'm not scared, so I'm not going to leave, especially after I fought so hard to be here.
Can you find out who was spying?
Can I?
I believe pyromancy, I think it's the hydromancy. You can try and look back on it, but I think
Oh, it's a ritual. That's why I wasn't finding it.
Yes, it's a ritual spell.
Pyromancy's a ritual, not a spell.
You can sense the augury with a magic training roll. And let's see. And it's impossible to peer backwards. Yeah, so people can't look in on it. So
I can't. Unfortunately, I can't trace it. The trick of it is making it land. It's a rather complex ritual. I've never been one for ritual study.
Ruvik, do you have any enemies? Somebody might be spying on you, you think?
Well, can't think of anybody off the top of my head. I mean, most of them died a long time ago because I outlived them. And in the last 50 years or so, I haven't really interacted with people that much. So I don't think I have any enemies. I don't know so much about Lucian or Dragomir. Seems unusual, but usually they try and keep up the appearances, keep people friendly towards the Griffins.
The only enemies I can think of me personally, would have access to this. Wouldn't have any reason to spy. We've mostly come to an agreement to leave each other the fuck alone.
Seems like an agreement that would generally... I mean, the others of you, are you all without enemies or without people who might know where you are?
Kaspar just looks at the ground.
There are a few people who would want me dead, but not personally. They just don't want to see me again. That's the same to them as being dead.
I swear to God, if this is fucking Mateo. Stupid idiot boy.
Boy.
Kilton,
Yes.
be honest with us. Have you scammed anyone recently?
This
No. Maybe. Well.
Define scam.
And by anybody,
nobody who could do this. Nobody who could do this.
I guess I should have said by anybody I meant wizards. Fair enough.
Never. I tend to avoid wizards if I can help it. And if it's a wizard in disguise, well, I don't scam anyway. I'm a legitimate businessman.
Mareigh,
Yes.
are you sure you can't tell who sent that?
Unfortunately, I cannot. It is a one-way spell, and it is... As soon as the connection is severed, it is untraceable. I can only make hypotheses as to who knows me and who knows where we are, which is not many people. No one really knew we were going here. No one knew we were coming to Kaspar.
Kaspar is always kind of fidgety. He's kind of the type of person to always look uneasy in most everywhere.
Do you think it's him?
He seems legitimately
Do you think it's him?
put off. He's powerful. and I don't know exactly what he did to my body in those weeks. He could have a way of tracking me.
Ugh,
At the very least, checking every Witcher. He knows that. He probably knows.
How long ago was it when you encountered him?
30 years ago.
It's a long time, even for a mage. Would have to wonder why now. And why you hadn't... you haven't been spied on before.
I may have, and I never noticed. There's one thing I know about mages is they will wait as long as it takes to cash it on an investment.
That is true. Can't say that I'm not guilty of that myself.
He told me one day that I am his greatest investment.
I wonder if he's the mage I saw in my dream.
I hope for your sake that he isn't.
Extra incentive to kill him then. The fewer Banard graduates in the world, the better.
Hey, come on now. My lawyer's Banard graduate.
Unqualified, unprincipled oaths given the power of chaos is not something I relish in.
Now,
Ego's the size of the moon. Even more than an Aretusan.
As the group ruminates on the implications that someone may have been spying on them, as well as their plans for going forward, that is where you will wrap up, and we'll pick up there next time.